Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Onos and today we're going to have a little chat about Tengen. I have some findings to share with you, but I'd also like to open a debate with the community. I'm not saying that my findings are the only answer here, and I definitely feel that more testing will be needed to get to the bottom of this. So, in my patch notes video I quoted the patch notes and said that Tengen had received a nerf but now stacked with other effects. In essence, I originally read this as a notification that other buffs would now stack with the Tengen damage bonus, but Tengen as a standalone buff had received a nerf, which sounded fair to me. Now let me just say before we move on, I know from the comments that some people have had their previous builds wrecked by the recent changes. Tengen and most likely the nerf to Honda clan and to the melee damage versus poison on accessories is likely to be responsible for a lot of rage this week. I can totally relate to the frustration of having your build suddenly feel underpowered based on things outside of your control. I genuinely get it, so please forgive what I'm about to say. In reality, I would prefer Nioh to be balanced overall where possible. And to be fair to the developers, that must be a massive task, especially with a community of players who are hell-bent on one-shotting bosses. One thing I don't like though is to have the illusion of choice. You know, that situation where you have all these guardian spirits to choose from, for example, but really, there is only one choice, because the damage boost by using Tengen was just too strong. So all your other options became secondary by default. I don't like that, so I can accept a nerf here and there, even when it affects one of my builds dramatically too. Anyway, back to my point. After making my patch notes video, I started to get comments to say Tengen doesn't stack with anything. My first thought was that those people must be wrong. It's written in the patch notes after all. But then I remembered how smart the Nioh community is, so I thought I'd spend some time checking this out. I did some testing. I tested some base damage values, then the damage with Power Pill, and then with Carnage Talisman. I tested the Tengen damage buff on its own, and then combined with each of the other buffs. It was very difficult to get consistent numbers, but it does in fact seem that Tengen doesn't stack with any of those. From the tests I ran, it doesn't seem to stack with Power Pill or Carnage Talisman. It also doesn't seem to stack with the Rage buff on the axe. For the record, from my findings, it still seems as though the Carnage Talisman is the best overall for damage if you're able to mitigate the defense debuff. Anyway, my next thought was that we've been misled by the patch notes. Someone got it wrong, or the translation must have been done badly. I started thinking about making a video to rant about this, but I chose to sleep on it and give it some rational thought before opening my big mouth. This morning I went back to read the patch notes again. I think it's possible I misinterpreted the patch notes and read what I wanted to read. In my defence, I think the patch notes could be a lot more clear on the details for something this important. But let's look at this again. If you see in the quote here, it very specifically has increased attack written in speech marks. So I went to check out the descriptions on Carnage Talisman and the Power Pill. Neither of those buffs specifically says increased attack. They say variations of the same thing in English, but I suspect if you take translation into account, perhaps increased attack is a very specific attribute, and the increased melee attack power on the Carnage Talisman and the increased attack strength on the Power Pill are actually completely different things, but can't coexist at the same time. This would mean that the patch notes are not incorrect, they're just very unclear on the details of exactly what Tengen now stacks with that it didn't before. What this might mean is that Tengen now stacks with some attributes where it specifically says increased attack. So for example, on attribute bonuses you can find on armor where it says this. Perhaps the devs realised that with all the soul matching we've been doing to add increased attack onto our armour pieces, having Tengen be so strong all on its own was making our damage disproportionately high when you piled on a load of additional attack bonuses on top of that. So what they did was to reduce the base boost of Tengen and allow it to stack with those instead. This is just a theory, but it seems to make sense. It will be an absolute nightmare to test and prove this, but I'm thinking of a way I could do this, so leave it with me. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. The Nioh community is awesome for figuring these things out, so I thought I would open the debate and see where it leads us. If your findings are different to mine, please feel free to say so. I'd prefer we all learn something, even if it means I'm wrong. Hope that helps you guys out. Leave me a like and comment if you don't mind, sub if you're new, and I'll wrap it up here. Thanks for watching, take care, stay safe, bye bye now.